to our panel targeting the new audience and the new media. My name is Ida Prester. I'm so happy to be here for the first time at PIN Conference and to get to know all of you. Let me just see who is in the audience, just for us to know who are we targeting today. So who is from Balkans? Raise your hands. And who is not from Balkans? That's why we have to speak English.
Lucky you.
No, I'm joking. Where are you from?
Lucky you.
Where are you from? You're from UK. Okay, then English is for you and for our guest. And Germany. Hello, Germany. Hello, UK. Welcome to Macedonia. I'm from Croatia, and you are from Zagreb. You're from Nikki. From which city? Where are you from? You have a microphone? You don't have a microphone. Only one microphone. Oh, okay.
I get two. From Brighton in the UK.
Okay.
Oh, I get two.
Nijmegen, the Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay, wonderful. Sanja from Zagreb, and we have Andras from Hungary.
Yeah, Budapest, Hungary.
Budapest, Hungary. So welcome, dear guests. So now we want to know about everything you know, and you all have like more than 20, 25 years of experience, everything about the new audience. What has changed in the last 30 years? So I think that we can talk about that for 2 decades, but still, okay, let me get to know you. First, let me introduce you to our audience.
What has changed?
What has changed?
55 years in the business, everything has changed.
Everything has changed.
It's more like 360 degrees, and we're back to normal. Now, I've been working for Showcase Festival or Eurosonic since the last 25 years. I'm in the business for a long time. I've been tour managing, I've been promoter, I've been
a DJ also.
DJ, oh yeah, I'm still a DJ, but I'm mostly in the media the last 25 years, the big festivals in Holland like Pinkpop, Lowlands, Noordse Jazz, and more of them. And there we are. We get to speak about later on what I actually do, but I'm the spider in the web, providing
the net.
Spider in your web. Providing materials for the internet, for the broadcasters, and for the artists. Nikki.
Nikki?
I thought you were introducing us.
Yeah, well, okay. I can say Nikki McNeil with 25 years in the music business industry, founded Global Publicity, but we want to know exactly what you do now.
It's all good. I love that. Just, making you work. Yeah, I suppose my experience I'm bringing to this, I mainly work with events, but I do work with a lot of music exports. So we work in different countries, helping the artists who are showcasing at festivals like this get exposure, get the media attention. And I suppose on the other side of it, when you're working on events, you're trying to arrange the interviews for the artist at the event. So, we've seen changes on that side too. So hopefully we can help a lot of you in the audience on kind of reaching new audiences outside of your own territory.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot about this, mentality differences as well and cultural differences, but okay, Definitely. Let's start with the start. Andras, what about you? You're more into ticketing business.
Yeah, nowadays, yes, but I think a lot of us got into this industry trying to play music, realizing we are not good enough, so going on the other side.
Unsuccessful artists.
I'm not, no, I didn't. I was actually thinking about it, but no, it didn't happen.
Don't say no. She's in a band.
Andras used to be in a band, right? Anyway, professionally, I used to work a lot for Siget International Marketing. I'm still involved with Exit. And now I narrowed it down, ticketing is part of the marketing. But I'm only doing the ticketing now. And I also joined a Hungarian independent ticketing company. So I'm basically doing the 2 jobs, Exit International Ticketing and this backstage ticketing company. A lot of tickets, a lot of data, and that's where I'm trying to give my inputs. I'm trying not to be too boring with that. Yeah, that's it for
You're very interesting for the start, especially this data-driven part of the show. Okay, Sanjin, what about you? You're from Zagreb, you're working with LA agency, you have your own agency now. Can you tell us something more about you?
Yeah, hi all, I'm Sanjin Jukic, coming from Zagreb, Croatia. Well, my field of expertise, if I can call it like that, is PR and marketing. Here representing 2 of our agencies, LAA and Pola. I'm also part of a member of Exit Festival team, together with my friend Rasko, who I hope is here, and I don't see him, so I can. Oh, there he is.
Raise your hand.
Rasko and I, we have a little run a little festival in Croatia called Sea Star Festival. I'm joking. It's Exits Festival in Croatia. I was also Exits PR director for 3 years, so I got quite a lot of experience over there. But yeah, I'm the guy who promotes the bands, who promotes the shows and festivals.
If you want to succeed in Croatia, dear artist, this is the guy, so please approach him after the panel. So let's start with the first question. You all know each other, huh? You've been working together for long?
Most of us, yeah.
Okay,
We just met, but...
But the
feel
feeling
like
is
we're
like...
all
I think,
friends.
I think I'm the lucky one who's worked with all of these people.
Ah,
So I
okay.
feel like I'm at home with a little family here.
Sure,
I'm
you're
the
a
spider in the
spider.
web.
Okay, so let's start with the beginning. Okay, so what do you think? Maybe you have the biggest experience, Heini, I would say. What is the difference? You said like it's like 5 decades of
Just
change.
one moment. As we
Yeah.
have no monitors here,
Okay.
I'm kind of losing my.
Okay.
I have.
What should I do?
I have tinnitus and I have everything in my ears after 55 years. So you got to talk a little slower. 'Cause I can
Slower.
understand.
Okay, slower and louder.
We have no monitors.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so slow and louder. Since you have the most experience, I would say, in this music industry, you can start with explaining us what has changed in the last 30 years concerning audience. Who are these people now? We all want to. If you are an artist or you are anywhere in this music industry, promoter, agent, PR expert, you want to target this new audience. What can you say how the situation changed? Who are those new people, those new generations? Can you compare them with the old one?
Yeah, of course. When we started all this whole media thing with festivals, I'm going back like 40 years to the Pinkpop Festival. There were 2 cameras who were filming, 60mm cameras, and 2 weeks later there was a little show on TV. And then came the internet. That changed everything. It made the whole world so close to each other, and it made the world competitive. But on the other hand, most of the bands that came to all the shows had, of course, all their managers around them who were guarding the bands. I am the guy who is trying to get everything online on our streaming platforms, and which is getting more and more important because the actual old-fashioned TV broadcast is like over the hill. I mean, nobody's watching TV.
Really?
Even so, like this year at Pinkpop, we did a survey, and during a show of Queens of the Stone Age, there were 40,000 people watching.
Okay.
25,000 of the people that are watching the show were not watching the show. They were watching their phone.
They have just the program. They have the program on, and they were watching.
God
their
knows what
mobiles.
we were doing, but on the
Okay.
other hand, we are providing on our social channels, like whether it's TikTok or whatever, all of them, we are feeding these channels with all kinds of information about the artists. And there's even people watching the show who have their earplugs in
Yeah.
and want to hear, are multitasking during a festival. And that's the main thing that has changed from consuming music and rock and roll. I mean, there was a huge distance when you came to a festival in the past and in the old days. I mean, you bought a ticket, it was very cheap, and then for a day you were watching and you didn't know anything about it because there was no communication. And now communication is king. And that is the big advantage of now. And it has, of course, its disadvantages because the money game comes in, and to be able to acquire all the rights to do it, I mean, that takes some balls. Because I mean, I can give you I'll give two quick examples. One of them is Red Hot Chili Peppers at Lowlands 4 years ago. They didn't want us to stream it live. I was trying this for months. I came in for a production meeting and I had to introduce myself. I have a very, very strange name for English-speaking people. My name is Fokker, you know.
Oh, really?
But I take that to my advantage because I come in and I say, "Yeah, guys, sorry, I introduce myself. I got 2 brothers. I mean, I'm Heini Fokker. You know what a Heini Fokker is. And I have 2 brothers, Jack Fokker and Dick Fokker. And this is for real. And in those days, my mother was still alive, so Mother Fokker is still alive. She's 90 years old. And this broke the whole production, and they were crazy, and they said, "All right, man.
They remembered you.
We'll give you 30 seconds. We'll give you 30 minutes." So I had 30 minutes, and ever since, this happened like 30 years ago. Ever since, when Red Hot Chili Peppers come to Pink Pop in Orleans, there's no problem with the live stream.
They remember you.
And one small other thing was with Arctic Monkeys. They were the young guys, 2007. They didn't want us to stream, but the record company said, you can stream it. And afterwards, they found out that we did it. And it was a big hassle. I had to come in, and I was with the manager and the band in the room, and then they said, well, this and I can't do that. And suddenly, Alex turned and said, oh, excuse me, I just got an app from my mother, and she was in tears because she was able to see us live on the computer. And
now you
is
see.
Is that true? Yeah, no problem. You know, I mean.
So do you like that change?
I love it.
You love it.
I'm on top of it, and that's the real game. That's a challenge, and not only with the big bands, but as well as at Eurosonic Noorderslag, Eurosonic. The new bands that come, we have sessions, and we have 16 sessions, and we present young, upcoming artists to do a session and use them on their socials, and I think that's very important, and that's my main incentive for the last couple of years.
Nikki, how do you comment on that? I mean, Heinz said that he loved that change, you know, using this digital media, this new communication. How did that help your job? Or do you see some disadvantages as well, as Mr. Fokker said?
Firstly, I should say that Heinz should have been on the 1 a.m. Drunken Stories panel last night. I think he might have been much more funny.
And yeah, we should stream that.
We
should stream that to your mother.
He's always got the stories. Well, I suppose coming at from a perspective, if there's a lot of like artists and artist managers in the audience, from kind of promoting to your audience, obviously with the internet, it's given you that direct to fan kind of promotion with the whole explosion of the kind of DIY way of promoting. So then it comes to a point, well, how far can you get with the DIY approach before you then have to start getting a PR and taking it to media and kind of going for that approach? So it does give bands and artists and labels the chance to kind of build that audience story themselves and get that kind of direct to fan. Everyone talks about building your own database, so you know, you always remember when you're on social media, get those kind of email addresses as well, because you never know if the Facebook shuts tomorrow, you've lost all your audience. So always make sure you collect the data as well. So you do have a lot of opportunities, but then don't forget you have all these extra channels now, and each channel then needs to be communicated on differently. So you need to have a different approach for each channel and at each stage of an artist's progression. So having an audience that wants to consume and you can liaise with directly, great, but then it gives you new challenges in how to do that, and also their attention span. It's, you know, everyone's going for that viral moment, viral video, you know, how do you do that in a few seconds? So, you know, opportunities and challenges, I would say.
So where is that line you just mentioned between when you can do it on your own, do it yourself perspective, and when is the time when you say to an artist, okay, now is the time to hire somebody? I mean, you can do it, you cannot do it by yourself.
That's like the $1 million question. You know, obviously we all know there are lots of probably PR companies out there pitching to new bands, like many of you out there. Yeah, we can do this for you, we can do that for you. And, you know, it's a huge budget commitment to be at a certain stage in your career to do that. You know, a lot of UK PRs have retainers, and I've also noticed lots of artists going for US PRs now because they want to be in Pitchfork, The Fader, and if they get a few of those, then that might help escalate their career in other territories. But it is expensive, so you know, when you're first starting out, it's knowing when you should do that. You know, should you be spending your money doing some gigs, building your own database first, building that fan base? You know, then there's the question, do you get a manager first, a booking agent? But, you know...
So many questions, poor you guys. Who are artists among you? Who are artists? Raise your hands. Okay, we have here, okay, many of you. Okay, good luck. Okay, we're going to open Q&A questions for you as well.
Actually, how many of you have actually paid for a PR so far, or not? Yeah. Okay.
How much?
One.
One. Okay, Andres, your perspective, how do you target the new audience now, and who are the people in the audience, in your perspective? Did that change in the last 20 years?
I mean, you know, since I'm coming from the ticketing side, I always come back to kind of knowing your customer, but we can also call, you know, the customer your audience. and with all the new tools, with all the online ticketing, all the social media, you have all the possibility to actually build up your own database, what Nikki was talking about, and to spend that kind of DIY period a lot longer, because you can have a lot of direct reach with your audience. So I would say now there is a better chance than ever before to actually know your existing audience, to actually have an idea of where they come from, what they do, why they are, and when they are buying those tickets that you try to sell, or that album or whatever.
That's for the companies, and for the artists?
The artists are, from this sense, the companies, I think. I wouldn't say there is a lot of difference, because
they have to do so many things. I mean, if you're an artist nowadays, it's much harder than before, it seems to me.
I mean, harder, but there is a lot more opportunity, so it's like something for something, you know.
Get some, lose some. Okay. And what about your job? I mean, how do you target, since you're in this ticketing business, how do you target your audience?
Yeah, I'm mainly working with festivals, so it's slightly different than like building up your audience for a certain artist. Like building up the audience for a festival, which is like ever changing in terms of lineup, it's pretty hard. Like to say Exit's target audience is this or that. Like you can have an idea about the age, you can have an idea about like where he or she is living, what kind of music they like, but you know, basically what I'm trying to do is obviously A, selling the tickets, B, providing that database to my colleagues at the marketing department to actually have a better targeting and to make sure that we can sell more tickets because we are targeting the right audience. So that's me trying to make this loop work best.
And do you succeed? I mean, are you under the pressure all the time, or
I'm still working, you know, for the event. So it's like
yeah.
like they didn't fire
You're
me
still
yet.
in the business. That means that you are.
It's a daily challenge, but I think for every festival, it's a daily challenge. Like there is really not many festivals who are like selling out like this without making an effort. It's the huge ones that have this privilege. Like Glastonbury can do that. Not a lot of other festivals. So yeah, there is a lot of work around data all the time.
But you don't complain, I see.
I mean, that's my job, you know.
That's your job, okay. Sanyin, what about you? You're also in the music, you're a music agent, you have your own agency. So what are the perspectives for Paula, for your agency now? What do you think, what is the difference between working in the music industry as a booking agent like 20 years ago and nowadays?
Oh,
let's start.
Tough one.
Because obviously, I mean, you are full of enthusiasm since you opened the new agency.
Yeah, you know, I am, because you just asked the question of you know, how many artists there are in the audience, and how many of you are using PR, and also you asked Nikki the right question: where is the border
The line, yeah.
between, you know, doing it yourself and hiring a PR? That's where I come in, because I tend to think that my role is basically picking up artists and taking it to another level. And I'm talking about like this ex-Yugoslavian region, which, you know, we are all familiar with. And to make it even more simple is basically our job is on a long way to make the artist earn more money.
And you too,
and
together
play
with
more
them.
gigs, and you'll be more successful. But you know, the first thing is just, you know, you don't play 10 gigs for 500 euros, you play 40 gigs for 3,000 euros. You know,
Sounds nice.
That's the move, and that's the point where, and again, guys, I'm talking about ex-Yugoslavia. I'm talking about our countries, which is, you know, pretty much different than the rest of the world. That's where PR comes in, and that's where I saw my opportunity. My opinion, you know, artists in this part of the world by DIY, they can come up to a certain level. That level can be pretty high if they know what they're doing, if they are like totally formatted as an artist, you know, because you have some artists. So when I approach the artist, or artists approach me, you know, I check their socials, and sometimes I tell them, you know, you're doing your socials better than I would do them.
Really? And you tell them so?
Of course.
Openly?
Of course.
I can do nothing
there's no
for
point
you.
of
You're too good.
of talking shit to them, because you know,
Okay.
if they chose, if you see that they are speaking the right language, and they have the right visuals and right videos and right jokes and right comments and everything else, right on their social networks. I'm not thinking that I could do their job better than them. Of course, on the other hand, you have artists who don't do that very successful.
And you can do that instead of them. Really, you can. I mean, you can hijack their social media. Let's put it that way.
I never hijack. No, when we're talking about social media, I don't hijack them.
Okay.
I merely advise.
You advise
Yeah,
them, and they listen to you. Okay.
But I'm talking about their social media, and then we're coming to a media point. So their communication with the media. Some of the artists have the skills, but there is no way that artists solely can do a media better than any PR. They can probably they can maybe do social media better than the PR, because, as I said, they found their language and their way of communication, and they know which channels they are using. You know, some artists are Instagram, TikTok artists, and some artists are, believe it or not, still more Facebook artists. But when it comes to
or MySpace artists.
Yeah, MySpace artists. But when it comes to media, you know, that's basically where we come in, and that's the point where I primarily want to see what they want to do. You know, some artists want to do everything, and some artists want to just have a little step inside mainstream media. You know, others want to have a better treatment inside music media, because there are music media in this part of the world, believe it or not, especially in Croatia. I mean, if we are something good at, we have a lot of music media in Croatia. If you didn't check them out yet, please do. You know, on that point, Croatia is really much stronger and harder than the rest of the region. So you know, but as I said, in general, the PR comes in when we're talking about media. PR comes in and take it to a next level. Of course, now depending on the artists, you know, where you can place them and what you can do with them, but that's your skill if you know how to place them into media, how you can sort of sell their story to media.
You told us that they want different things. Maybe some older generations, they want more. Give me some more TV. I want to make these TV shows. And younger ones, they're all relying maybe on TikTok. Is that so, or are there any differences between generations of artists?
If I can generalize, they all want to come and play. They want to. So if you ask any artist, you know, when we're talking about the media, what you want to do, we would like to come and play in their show. You know, is there like a TV show where we can perform? No. Is there like a radio show where we can perform? Well, maybe. So the first wish is always to come and perform. If you ask any of these artists over here, which is like their strongest weapon, we are, you know, the best live. You know, you have to come and see us live. So that's usually the first wish. Second wish is, believe it or not, more airplay. Because in terms of type of the media, and if you move social media inside, so we're talking about like a general media, radio and web, internets are still main channels.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
radio is still alive.
Radio is absolutely still alive. Even if it's formatted, there's still, like in Croatia, there's more than 150 radio stations. Of course, locals, this and that, but you can still try to find your way to some of them. If you have some, I wouldn't call it commercial potential, but you know, if there is, you know, or maybe to turn this around, if I might see like potential to put you on some radio where you can actually get in yourself, you know, I will definitely try to do that. I mean, you have to be like really tough underground for me to say this will not go on radio. But radio is still really important. I'm not talking about Croatia, I'm talking about the whole region. Internet, of course, you know, because it's something that will prevail in the end. Print is dead, although I'm a print guy myself. I really love when my artists do interviews for print media. And TV is in the toughest position. TV is still really strong, But for instance, in Croatia, at this moment, there is no place where you can go and play. You had that opportunity in the past. I would
Dobro
say,
jutro Hrvatska, maybe. Good morning,
well,
Croatia.
yeah, I mean, for
These
that you
were
have to
very
get up, like,
traditional bands.
actually have a sound check at like 5 in the morning. How's that sound,
But it
guys?
pays
And
off.
you still sound like shit. So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Did I answer
very
her
well.
question?
Yeah, very well. We understand each other very well. Hein, the question about you, about Sanjin told us about the role of traditional media and internet. And he said a couple of very interesting things about, for example, radio. Radio is still alive. Print is dead. What did you say? TV is in a tough position, but still live-ish. Print is nice, but it's also not so important for bands. What is your perspective? Traditional media versus new media?
Of course, new media. I mean, the old media is dead. TV is dead.
TV is dead.
TV is on demand. Is anybody watching live TV here? Maybe a football game, but
no, TV
no.
can be alive. TV itself
When?
doesn't. TV can be alive because it's still the strong media. But the TV editors do not allow a lot of music on their
they're not
their
interested
other
in the
channels.
music.
They will
Okay.
allow recording of Coldplay show. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
only
that's obvious.
Eurosong
But
is
they
still
don't-
strong.
Yeah.
These have been banned to on-demand channels. I mean, in Holland and in Germany, what I see. I mean, Rockpalast was a very famous institution in Germany. They had huge shows, like 4 or 5 hours live on TV. Now they are on the 3rd channel, Sunday nights, between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Why is that
So
so?
what's happening? Everybody's recording it. Nobody's watching live, and they watch when they see fit. And that's what's happening with music. Therefore, the internet and YouTube, I mean, is the thing. What we do at the big festivals, we record everything, and afterwards, when we get all the rights and we get the approvals from all the artists because they want to check it out, the audio is the main thing. The visuals, they're good, but the audio is the main thing. And therefore, you say radio, well, more or less okay, but the main thing what's happening is podcasting, which has exploded over the last 2 years. I don't know how about in your region.
Not so much.
In Holland, it's like
But
one big
more and
crazy.
more, every month. I
More
There
and more, but
are
yeah, not so
over
much.
30 different music and new podcasts, which are very popular.
Music podcast.
Music podcasts, and people they can check in when they want to. There is no linear use anymore. Before you go to bed, you check out the podcast or whatever. So I say the new media is the thing, and it's working incredibly in the Netherlands from our perspective.
And for the artists, I've been to several panels, and people always telling me that artists nowadays, they had to be kind of influencers. I mean, they had to know how to use those media. They know how to sell their own shit, I mean, on the new media.
Well,
Is that
yeah,
so? Or
but
do they need some help?
I mean, we're talking here about serious music, about the real music. And what influencers do, they try to sell themselves.
Okay.
It's not about the music, it's about themselves and what they do. And that's for kids, 13, 14 years old kids. That's fine. The K-pop stuff, and that's a market as well. But I mean, that's more or less into a commercial perspective. I'm talking about culture, about the real music, about music lovers, and about new artists that want to bring their heartbeats to their audiences. That's where I'm interested. And not about all the
Selling sneakers.
But
no,
one thing,
fuck 'em.
one thing, artists do become influencers, whether they like it or not, because with the social media, and if you open your own channel and you collect your followers, subscribers, or whatever, I mean, you subconsciously become influencer. I mean, in a way, and I think it's organic.
Let's be
Most of
content creator. Everyone hates the word influencer. Let's be
Because
be
of
frank.
the word, okay.
Let's be frank. We hate influencers. I mean, going back to Hein's point about you were talking about the traditional media. I'm going to say radio isn't dead. I mean, in the UK, you know, the BBC still holds a lot of influence, particularly their BBC introducing shows where they support a lot of new artists, and it is a way for new artists, they can upload their music to the channel, and that you do really get a chance of getting your radio on there. But also the BBC did a really great rebrand where they decided to call themselves BBC Sounds, because a lot of kids were realizing they were listening to radio, but they didn't see it as radio because they're listening on their phone, whether it's a podcast or a pre-recorded show. So now it's BBC Sounds, everyone's listening on their phone, but they're still listening to what was a radio show, but they're listening online. So, I mean, they have BBC introducing shows all over the UK, one in Scotland, Wales, wherever. And at Eurosonic, which is probably one of the most reputable showcase festivals where you can kind of get exposure as a new artist, the BBC come there every year and record sound sessions and interview artists. So, you know, radio in that sense is still pretty active, and they have the European Broadcasting Union. I know a lot of them are dwindling in listening figures, but a lot of them are trying to reinvent themselves and find new ways to reach their audience. So they are using all the social channels to, you know, lead back to their kind of main channel. So I don't think radio's dead in all kind of territories. I think it does have its place or role to play, but it's whether you call it radio anymore. Is it just listening to something on your phone? You know, I think maybe the word radio is misleading, but I think people are still
Like
listening to
influencer.
shows
It's the
or
word.
podcasts. Yeah, so I still think radio is important in helping break new artists, particularly in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I like to emphasize on the fact that when we say radio, we mean public radio, which is very important. Because, I mean, commercial radio is not interested. And the funds that has been brought up for public radio are under pressure these days. I mean, as we all know, the political situation in a lot of countries in Europe are tending to move to the right wing. We just had elections in Holland, and a populist won 37 of the 150 seats in our parliament, and there's a big hassle going on now because this guy wants to cut everything. Everything with culture is going to be cut. Public broadcasting, move. Everything really. That's because there's a big. I mean, and everywhere.
If this is happening in Netherlands, what can we in Balkans expect?
It's crazy. I mean, it was a shock. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, we've had these shocks. I mean, in Hungary. I mean, that's another example. But even in countries like Germany, and I don't know about England. I mean, not so much at the moment, I think, but. This means that culture will be under a lot of pressure, which means we cannot do the things that we used to do at Eurosonic, for instance, and helping the culture to step up and well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad.
Poor Netherlands, come to Balkans. We will accept you.
I'm here.
Yeah. Welcome. Welcome.
I was just thinking of something else actually when you were talking about traditional media and digital and stuff. You know, sometimes it's the pressure you get from clients as well, whether it's a festival or an artist, because, you know, even though everyone knows their audience is on TikTok, they're there, they're online, oh no, everyone still wants to be an enemy in The Guardian. They want to be in print. They want to be in the Rolling Stone.
Really? Nowadays,
So
new
there's
generations as well.
So there is still a huge kind of heritage of being in one of those publications and having that,
That
you know.
means still
But
a lot.
isn't that
still.
because it's like the content that they keep on pushing on other social media channels? So they are reusing the same content, and
but
if
it's
the
a
origin
symbol.
is if the origin is enemy, it's a lot stronger. It's a stronger content. There is a brand on it.
Everything is content now. Yeah.
So it's interesting that, you know, even if you know the audience is changing, you know, I mean, to be fair, Enemy do have a really good profile online, and they're very good at video content and reels and stuff on all the social media, even though they're not in print anymore. But, you know, there is a certain aspiration, I think, to still be in those kind of publications, you know, but it might then help you get a gig if you're in that publication, even if someone might not buy your music. So it may have an effect to reach another goal of yours. So, you know,
It's romantic.
So traditional media still has its role for sure.
And what about TV? You told us about the radio and the print. What about TV in your perspective? Is TV really dead, as Hein said?
I don't know. I mean, obviously we work with a lot of TV at the festival. Sanyan's probably better to answer that. But in the UK, I mean, in my experience, when I was younger, we used to do a lot of TV and radio shows. But there isn't the opportunity to get a lot of artists on TV anymore. The TV shows are gone. You know, we don't have all the really cool kids TV Saturday morning shows where you had all those fun slots where your artists could play. There are some talk shows that have a music spot now, but it's very limited. You know, we don't have all the amazing TV shows like The Tube, the old Grey Whistle Test, all these things. You know, I don't think the audience... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, to be fair, some TV shows do pay a lot of rights. Like, I think Channel 4 had the Isle of Wight Festival. I think some of the Netflix and... Oh, didn't Primavera? They got a load of money from Amazon, and it was broadcast on Amazon. So I think some of these streaming channels are now looking at music content because it's probably an easy win for them. So I'd like to know how much Primavera got for that, actually. I'd be interested to know. But I think traditional TV, there are definitely less opportunities. But maybe in this region, Sanyan would know.
As I said, you know, TV itself don't want to expose itself more to a young artist. For instance, in Croatia, the music show that national television does, and it's, you know, highly budget produced TV show called Astrana. So it's basically a music show, really good produced, where you have new upcoming, mainly unknown singers singing covers. And again, it's a culture. We are generally, our region we have a culture of covering
voices.
We just want to be sometimes stuck in the past. We want to just do covers all over again. So you don't have any new artists, or, you know, older artists don't have opportunity to come and present, you know, any of their music. You have to be super evergreen, mega hit, you know, like Oliver Dragojevic stuff and shit like that, where you have a young artist come and sing Oliver Dragojevic. You know, that sounds horrible.
Creepy.
You know, and it's national television's main music project of the year. Other one is Voice, you know, stuff like that.
But it's also covers.
It shows. It's also covers, also sort of competition. And
but
I mean,
new original music, there is no spot.
I'm working with a couple of artists that, by my opinion, have excellent albums in Croatia.
Tell us who are those bands?
Pip Ships and Video Clips have a new album called Vesna, which is awesome. And there's an artist called Idem from Jevaton, from Porto Morto, who has excellent album. He plays regionally. There is no way I could get Idem to come and play his music on any commercial television. Anyway, he can come to a maybe short interview, but present himself.
But
no
do you
way.
need traditional TV? I mean, do you need
think,
it in
well,
your...
I think, well, TV...
what does it offer you? Why is that important to you?
It has its reach, definitely, you know.
It has what?
It has the reach.
The reach.
It has the reach. It has the numbers. Yeah. It has the numbers, you know.
But for this audience, I mean, for the audience of somebody from Jebaton, maybe the people who want to listen to him are not there in front of the TV, or do you think they're still?
Well, you know, there's opportunity. You know, it might catch up some new ears, some new heads,
some new
promoters, some new, you know, something new.
Yeah.
There is no way that it could hurt the artist. You know, I know they're excellent live band. Pip Ships Video Clips, like a, you know, big Croatian band. It's an excellent album. Everything is good, but there is no way that Pips can come to any of national televisions or commercial televisions perform like it do. I don't know, any type of live performance. There is no way they can do it.
Who of the artists here have been playing on national TV somewhere in your country? Because he has a PR. He's the one
That's the same.
that pays PR.
The same guy.
Okay. You also... Is it hard for you to reach the TV? Or do you want it? Who wants even to go for the TV? Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never
Absolutely.
do that. Come on, man. No.
Therefore, it's completely
Oh.
dead. I mean, why wait for national or whatever to TV when you go to YouTube or go to Spotify?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Just
not
cut
the
the crap.
key. It's not the key element. All I wanted to say is they used to have it. I mean, you remember that. I mean, there were just so the funny thing is, said they don't want to create national television. I'm taking their example because they're acting funny. So there's no way that the artists can come and play their music on TV. But then again, Saturday night you have a Laurent Garnier documentary aired on second channel at almost prime time, and then you ask, okay, now
Who's fucking here?
what's wrong with this? I mean, this is
going
excellent.
on?
So week after week you have good documentaries on national television, and Laurent Garnier. Come on, I mean it's a pretty niche thing. So on one hand they are acting like they don't want, they're not interested in music, new music or any kind of artists. On the other hand, they do something like this. So it makes you wonder. I'm not saying again that TV is a key element. I'm saying that in this part of the world, TV as a media still has a lot of reach, a lot of influence. When I go out and do a silly 1 minute announcement of the show, a lot of people call me and tell me that they saw me. So I figure it has its strength, but they are just so closed, so closed. They will not open.
Andras, I'm sorry, you wanted to say something. Andras,
How you connect this to ticketing? let me see.
So how do you sell your tickets on TV?
No way. I was actually just sitting thinking the last time we were spending actual money on TV with any of the festival I was working
2004,
with.
huh?
Yeah, so I mean it's a different story with PR. Like if you have a good PR and you can get in there, it's cool. But TV commercials, not even a question. And probably this has to do with the fact that there is no direct conversion to ticketing. So it's like I think that's always. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to sell something. If it's direct or indirect, at the end of the day, if it's not happening, like that money is not getting to you, you will give it up. So it's. I'm sorry, but what did you want to ask?
Can you believe there was on Dutch TV in commercial in rotation to sell the latest Rolling Stones album? Can you believe that?
But when was that?
Just last couple of weeks. This means the album is not selling.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
I knows the secret.
Why would that happen? I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think even FC Barcelona is promoting the new Rolling Stones album. Like I'm just recalling something like this. Like they
nonsense anyhow.
They had the Stones logo on their football shirts.
Yeah,
really?
for one.
Yeah,
album
maybe
sucks. That's the answer.
Actually, speaking about paid stuff, this probably brings me to something that's changed a lot, which is actually very sad for me as a PR. But some of you may have already come across this. Paid for articles. I don't know if... please, none of you ever spend any money with Submit Hub. You won't get any results and your money will be dust. But it's very frustrating that now you can't contact these sites direct because they've signed up to Submit Hub. And whenever you try with Submit Hub, you don't get anywhere. So I'm really against this kind of paid for. And it's also happening kind of at showcase festivals, because particularly if any of you are going to play at things like the Great Escape or things like this, if you're a part of the showcase with a music export, people think the music export has a lot of money and they should be paying. So when you're kind of asking people who are going to write about it, here's this great act, it's just the genre you've written about a similar act. Oh, but is the music export going to pay? So there's a lot of this paid for creeping in with artist promotion. Now it's worse with festivals because they think festivals have got money and they're kind of nearly always wanting money.
Influencer, yeah. Collecting likes.
So I'm going to he's going to make me famous.
Finally.
He's the motherfucker. I can call him that, he's my friend.
Don't try this, please. Only Nikki. Not try it at home.
So
only
this
Nikki can
paid
do
for
it.
is kind of creeping in, which is kind of sad. Like usually if I send a press release out for a festival, immediately you get the marketing guy sending you it's this much for our marketing packages, you know, $2 grand, $5 grand, $10 grand.
But you do realize people are not willing to pay for content anymore. So of course that's the only revenue stream they have left. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, but it is difficult. But it's just that I've always noticed it with festivals, but now I've started seeing it with artists, which is quite sad. You know, particularly for smaller artists just starting out. You know, but I still think there are opportunities. You can find some places. You know, there are, you know, a lot of media in the UK, things like Wonderland. They're always up for writing about kind of new artists if you kind of go direct. And there's quite a lot of kind of those cool lifestyle kind of brands. Like I think Hunger magazine also have a good website. They're into writing about new bands. So if you have some quirky story or something like that, there are opportunities to kind of get in there with some of these cooler things if you go direct. But please don't pay for anything, please.
That's a wrong way. That's
it is. It's really sad that that's happening. But as Andres said, you know, we know a lot of the media need to survive. And at the end of the day, we want them to survive because we want them to write about our festivals, our artists, music scenes, you know, in Skopje or Poland or wherever. You know, we need that. But yeah, not at the expense of a new artist who's trying to kickstart their career. That's wrong.
It's a good advice. Good advice. Do you have any questions from the audience? Of course. Okay. First you. Imaš mikrofon. Super. Our young login is going to give us. Okay, you and then him, please.
All right, so hello, from this band Clavo. We're performing tonight, and I have a question, probably mostly to Nikki, but it could be addressed to all of you. So it could be summed as like, how do you get a good PR as an emerging artist? And to be a little bit more exact, like, what is the business model? How does it works? With your commissions, do you get any sort of, is it like a percentage or like a fixed fee, or are you getting paid per publication? Like, it's like super interesting for us.
Real business question.
All of the above. It depends on the budget. Like, you know, I mean, I don't really work with single artists anymore. I mainly work with music exports if they're doing a showcase at an event. So I just prefer working with events.
But you will do exception.
And I like to travel. But you know, a lot of PRs I work with, basically we have a WhatsApp group of nice PRs that don't want to steal each other's business, and we help each other. So there's a few of those in the group, and often it will be either a small retainer, so it might be.
I think maybe battery. Yeah. Battery ran out.
It could be something. Oh, that's way loud now. It could be anything from maybe £500 to £1,000 a month, maybe starting out. Or someone might offer doing it a fixed fee. So say you've got an album and you want to promote the album, they may say, oh, it's 3 months, or it's a fixed fee. So if they like you and they feel that there's, you know, they love your music and they feel there's like longevity in it, you know, maybe they'll do it for a different deal, or they'll see something in the future. So I think the best advice would be mainly to find someone who's genuinely into your music. You know, we do see a lot of PRs coming in at high costs and promising new artists the world. I know they need to pay their bills as well, but I think when you're starting out, you know, people need to be honest. And, you know, so I think find someone you have an affinity with who's worked with something similar genre to you and see the results they get. And, yeah, hopefully you'll find someone within your budget who's trustworthy and will do a good job. I hope that helps a little bit.
When do you play tonight? When are you playing? Which slot?
We're playing at 9:25 in
9:25. Nikki, please write it down.
Sorry, 10:25. 10:25.
Fine, also write this down, and then maybe it will change. Name of the band?
Clavo.
Clavo. From Poland. So please keep your ears open tonight. We'll come and we'll be cheering. Okay, another question here on the yellow chair from the guy who is very, very talkative.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hi. My name is Vladi. I'm from Macedonia. I'm a singer. I'm a composer. My story is kind of like Sylvester Stallone when he wrote Rocky. Like I literally
My God.
I wrote my whole career. I have over 100 songs that are ready to be published. I published just a few of them, and it's usually the stuff that I have on YouTube. But I think that I speak in the name of every artist that the struggle for us is to create the team. So the main struggle for us is to find the people that are going to be excited about what we have to offer as artists, and then together as a team we can conquer the world, because you cannot do anything in the by yourself. So that's that's the struggle of the artist. Personally, for me, I write Macedonian, Croatian, and English songs. So I have over 100 songs that are finished. I'm talking top to bottom. They're finished. They're ready. I'm ready to go into the studio and to make my career, basically. But the struggle is not only financially, but to find the right people that are going to point me in the right direction, and also will give me the exposure to the stage of the world. So my question is, basically, is a bit selfish question, but my question is, to whom from the panel, perhaps after the show, I can, perhaps after the discussion is over, to whom I can talk, that I can present my material, and maybe they'll say, hey kid, you're great, or maybe they say, hey, you suck, because that's the same thing that Sylvester did after he wrote Rocky.
Rocky needs a team.
Yeah, so that's what he did.
Give a team to Rocky.
He was basically...
Well, I mean, hype and talent is not for sale. That's available. So exactly what you say. I mean, you can talk to me about it. I mean, I might have some good tips for you, but I mean,
you have Hein.
it's about the artist, what you do and what you present and what your songs are. I mean, exactly. Maybe I like it. Maybe I think they suck. I mean, you cannot find an audience for yourself. That has to be created through build-up and through YouTube.
Very honest and direct. Andres?
One question back is like how much are artists expecting a management to actually like build a brand in a sorry, I'm a marketing guy, I always use these terms, but like how much do you yourself know who is your target, like who you are trying to reach, and like how conscious you are regarding that? Because if you know what, I mean, obviously you know what you're trying to say, but if you also know to whom you are trying to say it, it will be a lot easier to build that team. As far as I think, it's not like you are fishing around waiting for somebody to actually invent you in a way that to tell you who you are and what your message is and who you are trying to reach. So I think as long as you know your target, it will be a lot easier to make sure Hein is like the right guy to manage you to stardom.
Yeah, I know it, says Rocky. And now Sanya is going to bring you to a higher level.
I want to say is all the artists have to understand that it's up to you to not only take the first step, but first 10 steps. You know, you asked the right question, but you also asked the wrong question. You raised up and you said, you know, out of 4 of you on this stage, who can I talk to today to make my career come through? It's not about us. It's about, you know, all the other people here in this conference, and not only today, but, you know, throughout the whole year. Unfortunately, since you are emerging artists from this part of the world, A&Ring doesn't work that way here as it works probably in the UK and abroad. Here you have to do just a lot of your own steps, push your music. Fact that you have 100 finished songs and not many recorded songs means that you didn't take that necessary couple of first steps, and you actually need to do that. I mean, it's the same as with athletes. You know, if you are a football player, you have to invest in yourself, believing that one day you're gonna play for Barcelona with Rolling Stones shit on your chest. But
Happy
you know,
ending.
they might break your leg and you finish in the 4th league, and you know what you're gonna do about it. And it's up to you to take the first step. So it's not. It is about talking to 4 of us, but it's about checking who all the other guys here in the audience are, and at this conference, and I would definitely suggest that you, for the next European conference or MENT probably in Ljubljana or SHIP. If you can come to, if you're recording in Croatian, you can come to a SHIP festival, which takes place in Šibenik next September. Have recordings, present yourself. You know, I can give you I can give you advices how to present yourself, and it's important that you have something that you can present yourself throughout the year. But you need to have that first investments. You know, you have to spend the money and you have to risk, because you know it's all risk. It's risk if I take you as a PR. You know, it's still risky. I'm not promising you anything. As I told, I don't give shit to bands. You know, I'm working with them. If I see something that, and Nikki said one thing, right, that you know we at least two of us we work with artists that we believe in. We don't work with artists for money. You know, so for some of the artists that are on my company, I work with them for free. You know, for certain period, of course. But you know, you need to take that not only first step, but take that 5 steps yourself.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, it's a complex question, but we don't have time just for your case. Sorry. Do you have any other questions, maybe? Yes. Anybody? Yeah. Please give the man the microphone. Maybe we have time for this one.
One.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we have 3 more minutes. I'm so sorry that this is so short. Okay.
I'm going to try and be quick. Anyway, hi. My name's Arlette. I'm a publicist too. I'm from the Netherlands. I hear a lot of like emotion in the room, like today, and in a lot of like panel spaces as well. As fellow publicists and PR and marketing people, how do you recommend that artists manage their expectations when they're building their career and when they're building a team as well? Because basically saying nobody wants me, please talk to me, is something that happens to all of us, I think, but it might not be like the most ideal approach. But what is the right approach, in your opinion, and how do you manage expectations for new artists that you work with?
Is that for me? Question?
Could be. How do you manage the expectations? You told them you don't give them shit. You just tell them what you think for the start.
Well, for the start, I say no to more artists. I mean, more artists wants me than I want them.
Good position.
But it's not because I'm the best, or maybe it is. But it is the fact that there aren't many music PRs in my country or in the region. So there's just a small amount of us, and so basically I have to. I mean, on 10 requests, I say no to 9 of them. But the ones that I accept, I want to speak, openly with them. If I can, there's no way that there's no sense of hiring me for 500 euros per month, and I only work long-term deals. I don't work, let's do a single or let's do a gig next month. I only do long-term deals, because I feel that I might give something to you and rise your career to next level. I might be totally wrong, and that's the risk, young colleague. That's the risk. I'm taking that risk. I'm not promising you anything. I'm taking that risk, but I'm investing my knowledge, my skills, and my contacts, and etc., to make you not more better. You have to become better, or
more visible.
Or we can maybe share some experience, and in a way you can become better. But I can make you more visible, and more. I can put you somewhere where you can actually come yourself, get yourself. So, but I'm not promising anything. I'm also investing my time.
Ticketing has something to say.
No, it's not a ticketing. It's not a ticketing. Me saying hello now. I mean, we always talk about industry and how processes can help, but the basic stuff and how to raise the interest is like make good and relevant music and find your channels to actually show it to people. without the good and relevant music part, it's not gonna work. And I think I'm talking to a lot of young musicians who are like getting a lot of these industrial, let's put it that way, bullshit in their ears, like how to have a publisher, how to do social media. And sometimes I'm just thinking like, okay, but the good and relevant music, by relevant I mean knowing who you are trying to play to, it's still there, right? And because that's why we are here. That's why we are not selling washing powder, because we love the product. Yeah. And I think that has to be, we have to like remember this basic idea why we are here, because we want good music out there.
Music is
I
the
didn't
heart
mean to
of
be too
anything.
sentimental.
Nikki, and then we have to finish, I think. Login. Last question, okay.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. It's related to this topic. I'm Toshi Varovsky, I'm festival manager for over 30 years. I'm quite experienced. So it's one of the focus is the media landscape. So let me tell you, here in Macedonia, we don't have media here, free media. I'm not crying. I'm just I'll give you a clear statement. Where are you? So the same situation, the same shit situation in Serbia, Croatia, blah blah blah, everywhere, because we come out from former Yugoslavia, very devastated socialistic model, but we are still following the same route of behaving. So in Macedonia, the mainstream media and those small one, so-called independent, they're all commercial or political, in a political mode with the government. So they don't respect the basic, I understand his pain, they don't respect the basic law that they have to the broadcasting, the domestic production. So they are in alliance with the government, they're corrupted. But this is nice corrupted. It's not stealing the money from the bank. They're corrupted in the nice way. They're getting money from the government to cover their shits. So they are allowed not to respect the author rights and to produce music, broadcasting shows, to promote artists, to have their production. You understand? They don't even have the show for culture. How many media are present now here? Nobody.
It's the whole new panel,
Nobody.
I'm afraid.
So, you know, we are, only one. This is the most important European music event today, and only one media. So, welcome to Macedonia. So,
welcome to Macedonia.
So, welcome to Macedonia. I'm not crying, but I'm telling you that we're still corrupted in this way, and there is no chance to promote independent yacht artists because they're interested in Serbian, turbo folk, Croatian, oprosti mi pap, and things like that. So we are still in former Yugoslavia. Why? Because politicians like people who are just eating and singing and don't thinking. That's it.
Okay, we hear your anger.
We are not corrupted
because
we are not corrupted. We don't give any money to the media, so because they don't come, so we are not corrupted.
We are not Okay, Logan said his thought. For the ending, should we end everything?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I
Thank
want
you so much.
to thank to these gentlemen and ladies for this beautiful panel. Thanks to all of you for coming.
Was it
Please,
interesting for you
tonight,
guys?
don't forget that. Yeah. Thank you. Please don't forget tonight that we have a beautiful 15 shows, and I need one favor from all of you, especially delegates from abroad. Please put your place where you sleep on the hand, because for many of them we have a problem to find where you sleep. So thank you very much, and see you later.
See you guys. Thank you for joining us.